Hey, what's going on, everybody? I hope you guys are doing well. Happy weekend. Happy Sunday. I hope you guys are getting ready for the upcoming trading week. And I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. So we finished the first trading week of the year. And we are going to the second trading week of the year. So there's a saying in Wall Street that as the first month of January goes, so does the year. So we shall see if the month of January is going to end green or is going to end red. We shall see how it goes. And there's also a saying that if the first 5 days in January is positive, then January is going to be green. So we shall see how that works out. So these are just observations and sayings, right? So let me know where you guys are tuning in from. Put in the chat which city, which country, where you are piping in from today, so that we can say hi to you. We'll get started right away. Okay, so put in the chat which city you're tuning in from, which country you're tuning in from. So I believe this week is going to be a make or break week for the market because a lot of the major indices are setting up for either a breakout or a breakdown. So I'm going to go into that today, and it's going to be an interesting session here. Let me share my screen. All right. So let's check out what happened last week. So last week we had two of the major indices make new all-time highs. We got the SPY or the S&P 500, and then we got the Dow all make new all-time highs. And we also saw the IWM also do well. So currently, if you look at this is the S&P 500, and this is the weak performance in terms of the key stocks, right? So you see that the Magnificent Seven, you have Apple was red, Nvidia was red, Google closed positive, Amazon was the best performing amongst the Magnificent Seven, and then we have Tesla as the third, and then we have Meta. So you could see that. And where's Microsoft? I think Microsoft did not do well as well. Let's see where Microsoft is. Yeah, Microsoft was just +1%. Okay. So then we go to the ETFs. So if you look at this, you can see that we have, where is SPY here? So we have the biotech ETF, we have the healthcare ETF, and then we have the, looking for SPY here from this thing. Not seeing it here, but yeah. So most of the ETFs were mostly green. You see the QQQ 2%, DIA 2.5%, 2.35%, and the SPY just did 1.6%. Let me see if I can find the IWM here in this stuff here. Let's see, VTI, DIA. Okay. So we have the semiconductor ETF also doing very well, 14%, the leverage ETF. Okay. And we have, let's check out the futures for the futures traders. So we have the S&P 500 is 0.4%. 5%. Gold and silver were really strong. Palladium is the best performing among the metals, special metals. And then we have the Russell. Russell is the IWM or the Russell 2000 index. Actually, the Russell 2000 is the best performing. If you look at it, 2.65%, right? And then we have the Nasdaq, which is lagging behind. Nasdaq was 0.83, and then we have the 0.5 from the S&P 500. So here we can clearly see that the Russell is doing really well, and small caps is doing really well. So that's a good thing for the market to see the small caps also do well. So there are some tickers that I'm going to share here today that are ready to take off, and those ones are in the small cap sector. So we shall see if they can hold on to that. And then we have CPI and PPI coming up this week. If CPI and PPI are good, are favorable, it's going to favor the IWM and then the Russell. All right, so let's go to the catalyst that's going to move the market today. So before then, we got a breaking news here that Fed Chair Powell says he's under investigation and won't bow down to Trump intimidation. So what's happening here is that the Trump administration are using what I call elimination by rough tactics to investigate and attack Fed members. It started with Lisa Cook. Now it's going to Fed Chair Powell. So the Fed has always been independent. So one thing that you have to notice is that President Trump is the one who appointed Fed Chair Powell. And there's been like a lot of pressure campaign by the administration to get the Fed to cut interest rates at a rapid pace, right? But all you have to know is that the Fed is an independent organization. It doesn't work based on government's demands. It works based on data, and is an independent organization that take decisions based on the Fed board members, right? So what has happened is that the Fed members have they have to wait for re-election, reappointment of the members. They have already done so. So all the members have been reappointed, re-elected. So now the only person left who has to step down in May is going to be Fed Chair Powell. So definitely President Trump is going to appoint somebody that is somebody that is going to go and cut interest rate at a faster rate and put the person there, right? So that's what's going to happen. But then the Fed chair alone cannot take decisions, right? Because it's a committee, it's a group, and you have to vote. If the Fed chair wants interest rate cuts and then the members say no, the Fed chair cannot do anything, right? So that's what is being done now. So let's see what happens here. But I think that this investigation here is maybe due to that building renovation thing that President Trump was talking about. But I think it's going to be a non-issue and stuff like that. But anyway, this is not good because the Fed is an independent organization. If outside investors realize that there's too much interference in the Fed, like what is done in other countries, investors are going to lose confidence in the American, American bonds and stuff like that. They will start pulling up money from the market and they will start investing it elsewhere. So this interference is not good, right? It's not a good thing. So hopefully it's settled amicably with no issues. I think it's going to be a foolish case, but anyway, I'll leave that to the lawyers and folks to deal with it. So Fed Chair came in and made a statement that he's under investigation and won't bow down to Trump intimidation. So that means that they are getting serious here, and everybody's lawyering up to figure out what's going to happen. So we shall see what happens. So this is a video here. I think this is a video from the Fed Chair. I think you just post. Let me see what. I don't know whether you guys can hear it. I'll put the link here, guys. So yeah, so there's a lot of pressure on Fed Chair Powell to cut interest rates. So they are, so basically what's trying to do here is that it's trying to be like a way to get rid of him quickly so that he can put in somebody that can do the president's bidding and president. But the thing is, the Fed chair cannot make decisions for the Fed, right? Because the Fed chair is only one person, and it's a committee. I believe the committee of 12 people or so, and those Fed chairs from different states come together, and then they make a decision as to whether they want to cut interest rate or not. So if you listen to the FOMCs, you are going to hear that, okay, Fed chair of Atlanta or somebody did not want them to cut interest rate or want them to hold interest rates, right? So it's a democratic system, right? And in democracy, usually one person does not make a decision, right? It's a group. So the majority will decide whether to cut interest rate or not, right? So even if President Trump elects somebody who is pro the president and stuff like that, they can't really do much, right? I mean, they're going to cut, but the members, they have to get buy-in from the members. So we shall see how things work out here. So Fed Chair Powell's time comes to an end in May. So at the end of May, there's going to be a new Fed Chair, and we shall see how that plays out. Okay. And with the midterm election coming up, there's a lot of pressure on the administration to deliver certain things. And right now, what's going on in the US is that there's affordability crisis. So even last week, the president came out and said he's going to put together like a policy or something and cause credit card companies to reduce their interest rate to 10% for a year and all that stuff, right? So those things are just things to prop up, get ready for the election, which is coming up in November, right? So it's going to be the midterm election. So depending on how the midterm election goes, that's going to determine what kind of policies can be implemented. Because right now, the Republicans have majorities in the House and in the Senate. If the midterm election comes and the Democrats take control, then basically the president is a lame duck president. He can't do much, right? So because once you have those guys in place, they are going to put checks on the president, and he can't really do certain things. So we shall see how things are going to play out. But right now, this kind of things, investigations and stuff, is not good for outside investors. Like people are going to start pulling money from the US market and invest it somewhere else, right? Because there's too much interference from the governments, right? There's not like China or somewhere else where the administration or the the leader or somebody takes control of everything, right? So they invest in America because they believe that America is a place where there's rule of law, there's transparency, there's all that good stuff, right? So once people start having that skepticism about what's going on in the country, then investors, like countries that are buying US bonds, will stop buying US bonds and pull their money out, right? And that's not going to be good for the market. So we shall see how things work out in the coming months here. Okay. All right. So let's look at the catalyst for the week here. So Monday there's nothing really happening. This is just really Fed speakers. So they are going to be talking about interest rates, going to talking about the job market, all that stuff, right? But depending on what they say, if the sound bites are not favorable, it might affect the market, right? So, but I don't think that is going to be a big deal. The main thing for this week is going to be inflation, CPI, PPI, right? I believe this CPI is going to come in good because we are seeing inflation go down. The last time was 2.7. Again, this was before the holidays. So, I mean, usually what we've seen this year is that every time we have holidays coming up, the CPI number is usually good, right? So the previous one was 2.6. The forecasted one is 2.7. So if this comes in line or in line with 2.7 or lower than it, then we are going to see is going to favor the market. That means that it's going to put pressure on the Fed to cut interest rates in the next meeting. Okay, so let's look at this. So here we have this other one here. You have this as Wednesday. You have this. You have Wednesday. You have PPI. PPI is Producer Price Index, and then jobless claims. So jobless claims is also going to be an important one. So you have there to be 220,000. That's the expectation. That's the forecast. So if it comes in lower, then it's good. If it comes in higher, then it's not good for the market. But again, if the job numbers are bad, it's going to force the Fed to cut interest rates, because that means that the economy is weakening, the labor market is weakening, and they have to cut interest rate, right? So these numbers have been, have been pretty much Goldilocks numbers. But I think eventually we are going to get the real numbers going to come in, and we are going to see how things are going to work out, right? But this is a number that I'm going to be watching closely. Once we get it 250,000, 300,000, then it becomes an issue, right? Okay. So these are the catalysts for the week. And then we also have earnings coming up. So what are the most anticipated earnings for this week? Is going to be the ones I'm going to be watching is going to be these ones. I'm going to be watching the banks. I'm going to have Morgan Stanley, TSM. So TSM is Taiwanese semiconductor company, right? So that's going to speak to the AI trade, right? So is there still demand for these AI chips? What is the TSM doing? Those kinds of things, and that's going to lift the semiconductor industry. So if TSM beats, then it's going to help stocks like Nvidia, AMD, and all those stocks in that field to do well. Okay. And then we have BlackRock. BlackRock is also reporting. And then you have the airlines, Delta, JP Morgan. So this JP Morgan reports on Tuesday early. So the banks is going to let us know how things are going, and it's going to set the tone for earnings season. I believe the banks are going to do well, and then we are going to shift. The market is going to shift its attention to the semiconductors field with TSM. Okay. All right. So now let's go to the charts to watch. So this week I'm going to be watching the key indices closely, or the key ETFs for those indices, right? Because there's something critical happening there. I think this is going to be a make or break week for the market. If certain things happen, we are going to get a breakout, and we'll get the blow off top and push up, right? So I believe that this is my outlook for the year. I think that we are going to get a rally to all-time highs, new all-time highs, blow off top, and then once we get to high sentiment where everybody is happy, everybody is excited, everything is at all-time highs, and we even get crypto firing on all cylinders again, then the troubles is going to come, right? Because I believe that the job numbers at some point is going to start weakening, and once the job numbers start weakening, we are going to start getting the decline in the market, right? So right now I'm bullish, but I'm cautiously bullish because I don't think that we have a lot of time. We could go, but I think that eventually the market is going to slow down, and we are going to get a sell-off in the market, right? So, but as a technical analysis trader, we follow the trend until the end, right? And once the trend says, okay, it's over, we are going to switch something else, then we can focus on that and figure it out from there. But from now, the main thing is to follow the trend until the end. And then I will let the technicals guide us to figure out where price is going next. So over here, I'm going to go to the SPY. That's the S&P 500 ETF. Let me go here. So here we have this beautiful parallel channel here. So we have COVID low, 2022 low, 2023 low, Liberation Day low. Okay. So you can see that this upper trend line, right, of the parallel channel is from 2021 or from COVID area, right? So this like a 5-year trend line. So the SPY has this work cut out for it. So here we are trading at all-time highs, and we need to blast through this. So if you're able to blast through this week, break above the highs of last week, this is a weekly time frame, we are going to push through this area, right? So I believe that we are going to get to the 700 psychological number this week if the market is strong, and we are going to push higher, right? So we are going to push through. So the upper limits can be somewhere here at the top of this mini trend line, right? Once we get there, I believe that we can now start. So we can push somewhere here, push here, or maybe blast through, and then we can start heading down, come and retest here, prove strength, and then possibly go or start selling to the downside, right? So that's what I think is going to happen. And the longer we go, then it means that we are going to be super extended, and then the sell-off is going to be very aggressive to the downside, right? So we shall see how that plays out. Okay. So here, when we go to this chart, same idea, same thing. So as you can see here, we are at a breakout zone. If we can trade, if SPY is able to trade and hold above this 695, the all-time highs, then we are going to push and make new all-time highs and push higher, right? So perhaps we can go to, let's see where the next target is. Let's see if we can get to the next target. It's not giving me that, but at least we are going to get to 700, right? 700 is a psychological number, right? Psychological number is a place where investors and traders will think, oh, okay, we got this round number, so we have to start taking profits. So, right. So if they say psychological number, what it means is that it's a round number, right? A number with no, it's a round number, or what you can call an even number, right? Round number whereby there are no decimals, there's no, is a nice number, okay? So things like 700, 100, 200, 1,000, those are psychological numbers, right? So right here, I'm going to see what happens tomorrow if we're able to break and close. So if you break and close above this, then we are off to the races. This is going to break out and go, right? So for SPY, I'm just going to be watching this trend line closely and this area, right? Above 695 or 696, this has room to push and possibly retest this area and then pop to the upside, okay? Then I have to check the VIX. Anytime I check the SPY, I need to check the VIX. So the VIX is the volatility index. The volatility index is trading at 14, right? Anytime we are trading below 15 or lower, there's a lot of complacency in the market. So typically, there's always that kind of reaction that causes some kind of volatility to come to the market, right? So that could be, the volatility could be this week. We could get CPI number that the market does not like, which is hot or worse than expected, and then it's going to cause the volatility to come, right? So far, this is trending down, so this could go lower and possibly go and retest here, put in a double bottom at the 1338 level, and then push up, right? It could happen. That's a possibility, right? So that's something that can happen here with the VIX, right? That's something that can happen here with the VIX. So I'll be checking the VIX closely. If I go to the weekly time frame, we can clearly see them take off these lines. We can clearly see that we are at a critical demand zone, right? Or support level. Anytime you're at a support level, there's always a bounce. There's always some kind of reaction. So if we start getting green candles, it means that it's going to put pressure on the market. We are going to get volatility in the market, and then the SPY and other ETFs and things will start selling, right? So the VIX is the ETF over the SPY, right? So if this starts going up, it trades opposite of the SPY. If the VIX is up, the SPY is down. And as you can see here, we are at a point where, this year, you see, the last time price came here, we got a bounce here, bounce. So here we can come all the way down. We have ability to come all the way down to 10, right? If we come to 10, so anywhere here, let me just go to a different board. So anywhere here, take this off. So anywhere here is going to be area where you can get a reaction and get a bounce in the VIX, right? So the VIX, once the VIX bounces, then it means that the market is going to sell. So again, let the technicals guide you. Don't trade based on feelings or based on what you feel like. Okay, I feel like I want to go long. No, you trade what the technicals is telling you. If the technicals is telling you that we should go short, then we deal with that. If it tells us to go long, we go long. Okay. All right. So let's look at QQQ. QQQ. So QQQ here has been lagging behind all the indices. And I believe that at some point, QQQ is going to wake up, right? So maybe the TSM earnings or CPI, something, I don't know, but something is going to help QQQ do well. So over here, you can see that we have this trend line here from 2021. That's the bull market high of 2021. If you extend it, it touches the highs of October. The last time the QQQ made all-time highs was in October, right? So since then, the SPY has made all-time highs, multiple all-time highs. The DI has made multiple all-time highs. The IWM has made multiple all-time highs. This QQQ is the only one that is lagging behind. So I believe that this week could be the week for QQQ. That is the week where QQQ goes back and makes new all-time high. It could be, right? So this week could be that week. And if it's able to master strength and break above like 630 or 629, then it has room to push to all-time highs. There's just going to be 7 points away to make all-time highs, right? So above this level here, this 628 level here, we are going to see a push and breakout, right? So once we break out and we get to all-time highs, then we're going to push all-time highs, and then after that, we can push higher to the top of this trend line here. This one, right? This trend line from 2021, this one. So that's why I have here on QQQ. So I'm watching QQQ closely this week. It must wake up and it must push up, right? If it does that, it's going to lift the entire market, because you have to know that QQQ or the Nasdaq is the king of the market. That's the reason why the whole market has been trading at all-time highs. Without the tech stocks, without the AI stocks, there's no way the market will be at all-time highs, right? So that has lifted the market and caused the market to go up. Okay, so if we can get a comeback in the tech stocks, then bingo, we are going to hit all-time highs and it's going to lift the entire sector. All right, so the next one that I'm going to watch is DIA. And watch this closely on DIA. So DIA is the Dow Jones Industrial. So if you follow CNBC, most of the time they use the Dow. The Dow closed the day 100 points. The Dow closed the day 500 points. Say, what is this Dow? Is this somebody? Is it a human being or is it something? Right? It was named after Charles Dow. Right? So the Dow has, these are the top 30 companies, right? Legacy companies. These are like, some of them are old school companies, and some of them are quote unquote the boring stocks. So you have your Coca-Colas of this world, you have your Walmart, you have your Caterpillar. Like, these companies have been there, some of them have been there for 100 years, right? So they are very profitable and they're solid. There's only 30 companies on there, right? So these are blue chip stocks. These are like high quality names. And right now, this is trading at all-time highs. So if you look at this trend line here from 2023, the lows of this, if you look at this, 2023 lows, this is a weekly time frame. And this lows here, one touch here over here. This is August or September 2024. Two touch, and then here touch it here at the previous close. So here, support, broke it, and now what do we have? Resistance, right? So this one in technical analysis called SR flip, right? Support is the S, and it has flipped towards resistance, right? So now this is a critical resistance. So if the DIA is able to break out of this 496, then we are going to get a big breakout to the upside, right? So here, next target was the next target here. We can draw another level here, another like trend line here, this one. So this connects the highs here, 2024 highs, and this high here, and we are going to get this, right? So somewhere here, this can come all the way to 500 or more, right? So here it's going to be around 530 something. That's the area where this can come to. So I'm going to be watching the DIA and the QQQ closely this week, right? And this trend line is going to be critical. So if we go to the daily, this is how it looks like on the daily. And if we can break this out, this is going to squeeze to the upside. We are going to get a breakout and then a blow off top. Okay. So here, next one. So watch this. This is similar to, so these are, the IWM has 2,000 stocks in it, right? These are small cap stocks. These are small companies. And these companies here, some of them are not profitable, right? So there's a vast difference between the DIA and then the IWM, right? They are very different stocks listed there. But you can see that the charts they look alike. So here, this support, and then it's time to resistance, right? So if we break out of this, then we are going to get a big move. So then where's the next level? Next level is going to be somewhere here, right? We can say, okay, this can take us to somewhere here, and then we'll go from there, okay? So I'm also going to watch IWM closely. So IWM, if IWM breaks out, then some of the small cap stocks that I'm going to talk about today are also going to break out, right? But if IWM does not do that, then no lie, it's not going to go anywhere, right? So that's what I'm going to look at. Also, okay. All right. So here as well, I'm going to make a major announcement here. So we have our zero risk to riches challenge coming up in 9 days. So we have January 20th to 22nd. We are going to take the zero risk to riches challenge. So if you are here and you want to learn about the stock markets, we are going to talk about. So it's going to be a 3-day event free of charge. First day is going to be mastering the foundations. What is the stock market? What is it about? All that good stuff, right? We are going to talk about the beginner stuff. This is a beginner-friendly thing whereby you are going to learn how to buy your first ever stock. If you've never bought a stock before, you buy your first ever stock risk-free. You don't use your money, right? We are going to do that in a simulated account. So there's no risk involved. That's why it's called zero risk to riches challenge, right? So here, master the foundations of the markets. And day 2, we are going to talk about, so day 1 is about stocks, ETFs. Day 2, we talk about options, right? How we can leverage options to for exponential gains. What are options? What are they useful, right? And also how we can supercharge your portfolio with options. And then day 3, we are going to talk about technical analysis, deal with technical analysis 101, the basics, how to understand technicals, how to size, how to take a trade, and all that good stuff, right? And then there's a bonus day 4. That's going to be the Friday. You can trade with me live and see how we implement some of the strategies that have been covered in the zero risk to riches challenge, so that you can see how professional traders pull money from the markets on a daily basis, right? And then, yeah, so this is going to be, it's a 3-day thing. The 4th day is a bonus. You don't need to come. It's optional. But if you want to come, that's going to be great because you are going to also learn there as well. So we are all going to we are all going to buy our first stock using a simulated account, we are also going to buy our first options, right? Live during the sessions. And they are going to start on the 20th, and it's going to be in the evenings. I know most people are working 9 to 5, so we'll do it after work hours. If you're going to school, after school hours, whatever, right? So it's going to be 8 p.m. Eastern, right? So this same time we're doing at YouTube Live is going to be same time that we are going to do this. So make sure you sign up, make sure you register, and make sure, most importantly, you share this with your friends and family, right? So this is free of charge, right? This ability where you can learn a new skill. This is 2026, new year, new skill. Learn a new skill, a high value skill that you can use to pull money from the market, right? That can help you to get back your freedom, right? So I'm going to put the link here. If you've not signed up, make sure you sign up, because the spots are getting filled. We are almost 80% to capacity now. We just have a few spots left. So make sure you sign up and don't miss out. So I'm going to put out the link here and share this with your friends and family and let them sign up. Okay. All right. And if you have any questions about the challenge, please put your questions there, and I'm going to answer them. Put them in the chat, and I'm going to answer them. Okay. All right. So now let me go to now that I've gone through the ETFs, the key ETFs. Let's look at crypto. Let's look at crypto, and then we'll go to individual stocks. So right here, I'm going to look at take this off. I'm going to look at crypto here. What's Bitcoin doing? Bitcoin is now the problem child. Okay. So this is the chart of Bitcoin, right? It's trading risk channel here. And now we are here. So from a macro standpoint, we are still in a bear flag. It's your bear flag. And Bitcoin needs to find a way to push above and crack this $98,000 level, right? If it's able to push there and reclaim this parallel channel, then we can have ability to push to 100K and above, right? But until then, it's just consolidating, and it's been here and it's been slow, right? So we shall see what happens here. But I think that because the Nasdaq has not moved, the Nasdaq is struggling. If the Nasdaq can make new all-time highs, I think that eventually money flow is going to flow into crypto and going to also lift crypto, right? So until Nasdaq wakes up, I believe that Bitcoin is also going to struggle and stay there. But I believe that if Nasdaq wakes up this week, it's going to also bode well for crypto and go up, right? Because most people risk buy things from getting into stocks in the Nasdaq because those are high risk stocks, and now that means that there's risk coming back into the market, right? So if that happens, then crypto is going to benefit from that. So here, Bitcoin needs to, curl up here and push up, right? If it doesn't, and we break, so anytime we break below this bear flag here, then it's going to be, Bitcoin is going to be in trouble, and it can go as low as 80,000. Then from 80,000, there's this magic number here at 74,000, 75,000. That's the area where this can come to if this bear flag breaks. Let's check Ethereum to see what Ethereum is doing. So Ethereum has been holding this bull market trend line. It's been holding it. So it still needs to break this wedge pattern. If it can break it, then it can push up, right? So apart from Ethereum, there are also other altcoins that are showing some good signs. One of them is Solana. Let's check out Solana here. So we have Solana here. So Solana has been holding this trend line here. This is the bull market trend line. It's been holding it. So this is from October 2023. It's been holding it. So if it can hold it here and push, we can get to this area, and then we can push up, right? So Solana, I like Solana for a long. based on this, as long as it doesn't break below this level. If Solana does not break below this level, then it has room to push. Okay. Another one that I'm watching as well is Cardano. This one. Cardano. Okay. Cardano here is if you look at this is holding this trend, right? So if Cardano can curl up and hold this area, I believe it can push to 62 cents and then push up from there, right? Let's also check XRP. XRP. So XRP here, you got this. So this was acted as support. It's still acting as support. So as long as this support holds, this was a resistance and it turned into support. As long as it holds, then XRP could make a recovery and push up, right? So it can push up to maybe $2.50, because $2.50 mark is a critical level that it needs to break and push up from there. Okay. All right. So let's check out gold. Almighty gold. Let's check out gold. So gold has been showing strength here. So gold is still pushing here. This is a weekly time frame. This is the weekly here. It's been pushing up, and it looks like this week we are going to get a breakout in gold, and gold can come as high as 4,800. It could push to 4,800, right? And then that's going to also help the ETF GLD, right? So those that trade the ETF, you can take a long on that. If we break and hold this 4,575 level, we are going to break out and go. Okay. Let's look at silver. Silver has been really strong. So silver here is at a critical level here at all-time highs and is at this double top. I believe that if it can break and close above this $83 level, it's going to push and go up. Right, it's going to push and go up and break out. So we shall see how this works out this week. So silver is on the verge of making new all-time highs. Silver has room to get to like $100. I will not be surprised if silver gets to $100 sometime this year. So that is a possibility, right? But this is going to start once we break out of this double top. This is going to be do wonders and push. Okay, all right. Okay, so now let's go to the individual stocks. So there is some stocks that I'm watching here. So first one is going to be, I'll start with the shorts, right? So we have Palantir, right? Palantir is an AI stock. So we have a head and shoulders pattern forming here. And this head and shoulders pattern, so here we have this trend line here. If PLTR or Palantir is unable to hold this support level, this 174, then we are going to push down to the nearest support, which is going to be here, 166 or 167. And then this can come all the way to the 200 if this sell-off continues. So here, this is a bearish pattern. We are trading at the 100. If the 100 SMA fails to hold, then PLTR is going to be in trouble. But if the Nasdaq is strong this week, I think it's going to benefit Palantir. So I like Palantir for a short if we trade below 175 or no 174. Below 174, we are going to look to short this to the downside to 166.98, and then from there we come here to this trend line, right? This trend line here is from April 2025, right? So here we can go down from there. All right, next one on the short side, I'm going to look at, let's see what Microsoft has to offer. So Microsoft, we have this bear flags, right? Microsoft has been weak for a long time. So here it came here to this area I remember I had a YouTube video on this whereby I talked that this is at a double top, and double top is sold off, put in a bear flag, and what did he do? Second leg down, and this another bear flag. We broke in below it. So now what needs to happen is that this 200 SMA level, this 200 SMA is going to act as resistance. So Microsoft needs to find a way to hold it. So here, this now becomes the new level here. Microsoft needs to find a way to hold this area. If it doesn't hold it and it breaks it and breaks this 464, we are going to head down. And this can come all the way here to this gap fill at some point. Not in one day, but that is if the market gets weak, this is going to sell and come down. So this level is a critical level. 465 is a critical level where this can come to, right? And then go down. Okay. All right. So next one is Netflix. Netflix can be it can be a long or a short. I believe that Netflix is due for a bounce, but I don't know when the bounce is coming. Could come anytime soon. So here, are we going to get a bounce this week? Who knows, right? So this level here, this trend line is critical for Netflix, right? If Netflix is able to hold this trend line, then we can get that move to the downside, move to the upside, I mean. So here we have this secondary trend line as well for Netflix, right? One touch, two touch, three. So this is an intersection level, bow tie trend line. So this bow tie trend line has to hold, right? So I believe that this here has the ability to bounce. So let me add the RSI to this and see where this is at. RSI. So if you look at the RSI, so RSI here, looks like we are going up. This is going down. So we are seeing some kind of bullish divergence here in this. It's like a low. This is like looking to form a lower high. So if I go to the 4-hour or even the hourly, you are going to see that we've already confirmed, right? So this is due for a bounce. So you see here, low, high, low, high, low. This has formed a double bottom here, telling you that this is ready to go, right? So I'll not be surprised if we see a bounce here in Netflix, because this selling is, is lower than, so here this is lower than 30, so it's oversold. So I believe that a bounce is imminent, right? So I don't mind taking a stab at this, taking like a small position long, and I believe that one of the days is just going to give us a long candle. So I believe that from now to the time that they have their earnings is not this week, but the following week. That's the week of the, I think, fourth week of January. We are going to see that pre-anticipatory run move, and we are going to get a move. So I like Netflix for as long as we don't break below this bow tie trend line. So $90 calls can get the job done. You buy time. Buy it. You don't want to hold into earnings, but usually when something has sold off like this significantly, go into earnings, they are going to come and sweet talk people and come and say something nice. So I believe that they are going to beat earnings and they are going to have good guidance. They are going to say something good. There's no guarantees, but based on the way this has sold off, it cannot come and post bad earnings and cause it to sell off further, right? So the earnings is going to come good, and we are going to get that reversal. So I like Netflix for a play. You play it either for a short term, for the pre-anticipatory run before earnings. You sell before earnings and wait for the earnings. Have the earnings coming is good, you can buy again and reload, right? Don't swing things into earnings. It's too risky, right? Okay. So Netflix. Now let's go to other individual stocks that I have here. So I have a number of stocks here. I believe that energy or oil and gas is going to be one of the best performing sectors this year. So I like this stock, Oxy, and Warren Buffett's company likes it as well. They are one of the investors in Occidental. So Occidental here did a beautiful move this week. And I believe that it's not down yet. It still has more room to push. And this is, the RSI is low. It has sold off a lot. And I believe that it's time for it to reverse. So here you have this your low. This is your higher low. This is a confirmation pattern for a reversal. This is on a weekly time frame. So if you're able to break about $44, this can push. This could be a $50 stock sometime this year, right? With this whole oil situation in Venezuela and stuff, I think that these stocks are poised to benefit from it. And oil did not do well last year. I believe this year is going to do well. Okay. So one stock that I'm watching is Occidental for more or less like a medium to long term swing. Hold it, buy time, set and forget, and allow it to play out. Okay. So yeah, so this is good. So far this year, this Monday, it has moved 8% so far this year. So we'll see how things work out in the coming days. Okay. And if you look at this closely, go to the weekly, this looks like it's forming a rounding bottom, right? So rounding bottom, you put a bottom here, curling this, it looks like a rounding bottom and it's ready to go up. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next thing. Next one I'm watching is Baba. So I think Chinese stocks are going to do well this year. Baba is one of the stocks that I like here amongst the Chinese stocks. And if you look at this from, if you go to the monthly, here and you clear these lines, take this off, you can clearly see that it's putting in a pattern. So here, if you look at this is your monthly time frame. This here, you see this? Here, 1 to descend, held there the 20-month SMA, and then boom, a rally. Same thing here. You have this here, and boom, a rally, right? So can we get a third time lucky? Right? See this? So it's pattern recognition, okay? Pattern recognition. So if you can get a monthly candle, change this to yellow to make it easy on the eye. All right, she's a monthly candle. If you can get a monthly candle to break above here, this thing is going to cook, is going to go and come all the way here, 192, right? So I like Baba for a nice play here. Baba is good, right? Baba for this breakout based on this pattern recognition, right? So here is the monthly. If you go to the weekly, you can clearly see what's going on there. And then if you go to the daily, comes in smaller time frames. So you see this going on there, okay? So that's what I'm watching. So I like Baba long. If you're trading Chinese stocks, make sure you buy time because sometimes they are prone to gap ups and gap downs. So you buy time if you're doing options, 2 months out, 1 month out minimum, 3 months, 6 months, allow it to play out. It's going to work out, right? There's also Baidu, the Google of China. Baidu, Google of China. So that one, let's look at that. Baidu is the Google of China. So here, we need to get this pulled back into the 9 EMA. So if it can hold here and bounce, then we can push up to the upside, right? So that's Baidu. Okay. Next one I'm going to be watching as well is Oklo. So Oklo had a good announcement last week. They had an announcement on related to they having some kind of a deal with Meta, and that caused the stock to rally. And it popped up pre-market, and then by the rumor saw the news, they sold it. So if you take a look at this, we go the weekly. You can see that this has gone up, came back down to the 50 here. So look at this. Look at this pattern recognition. Every single time it has come to the 50, it bounced, right? So here we got a big bounce, right? So here, this stuff needs to find a way to so it needs to find a way to break this trend line. So if this can break, so first of all, it needs to find a way to trade above 106. Then it can break. If it can break above 120 at some point, this has ability to squeeze and ability to get to all-time highs. Right. So Oklo is not done yet, but it still has work to do. It needs to find a way to reclaim this 121 level and push up. Right. If it can do that, then it's going to do very good moves to the upside. Okay. All right. And another stock that I like, Tesla. So one thing I like about Tesla is that once it's moving, it moves. Right. That's a stock that once it sets up and it's moving, I stop everything that I do, all the stocks that I'm trading, and focus on Tesla, because once it moves, right? That's one thing I like about Tesla. So if you look at Tesla closely, let me take this off. So look at Tesla closely. This is a weekly time frame. If you draw a trend line here from this low, this April lows, right? Liberation Day lows, right? And you connect it to this area, you can see that we have a perfect trend line, right? A perfect trend line. So here you have one touch, two. It kissed it here. It couldn't touch it, but it's all good. We are going to count it. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So obviously, if it's two things that can happen, right? If Tesla holds this weekly, this level here, this like a multi-month trend line is from April last year. So that's April last year is like we this like almost getting to 9 months so far. If he holds this 8-month trend line, then we are going to push up and go, right? So here, next level is going to be then its ability to break 457. A break of 457, which is a weekly level, is going to get this to squeeze, and we can go back and make new all-time highs. So Tesla is critical, and then also Tesla has earnings coming up in I believe it's end of January, no, February or so. February or end of January. So from now to that time, we are going to get a pre-anticipatory run in Tesla. However, if you break below this trend line, we are going to get a shot to the downside, right? So it's simple. If we can hold and trade above this trend line, we go long, stay long, right? If we break below this trend line, then it's straight short put city trade. We are going to go down to the downside, right? So that's what it is. So I like Tesla. I like the play. I think that this can give you a very good move from now to the time that earnings comes. You are going to see a big move in Tesla. At least you can get a 10% move, which is going to be a very beautiful trade in the options. In the equity, you can get 10%, 11%, or even more. So Tesla is one stock that I'm watching this week here to do well once the QQQ and what's it called? QQQ and SPY do well. You are going to see this do well as well, right? So again, the general market has to do well. If it doesn't do well, then all these things are going to crash, right? But Tesla tends to have a mind of its own. It can go on its own and go, right? So this move here, this beautiful move here, so we captured it in the swing trading service, this move here to the upside. And all those times Tesla was showing relative strength, right? SPY was selling, doing all sort of things, but Tesla was doing this thing. So I believe that if Tesla starts moving, it can do something similar and push up. Okay. So our ultimate target here is to get this to come to this area. And then anything apart from that, after that, is going to be the cherry on the cake or bonus, right? But main target is from here to here, right? So, and those in our swing trading service, we already took a position here. So again, if you want to get the place, if you want to get into place before they take off, you want to join our swing trading service, right? So the swing trading service is very affordable. It's a no-brainer. So you come to tradingrate.com, you go to courses, and then here you go to weekly alerts. So if you want to make money from the market on a weekly basis, this is the swing trade service for you, right? So here, I'm going to put the link here in the chat, and then you guys can sign up. So if you want to join us, if you want to trade with us tomorrow, so already the members that we've already posted the top 3 tickets for the week in the members area. I don't share those tickets here on YouTube. So if you want to get the top 3 tickets, you sign up and trade with us. So last week we caught Irene, right? We caught Irene here. So Irene here. We caught this move, and then we still have more moves to the upside on this Irene. Irene is still going, and I believe that this is going to break out and go, right? So it's part of some of my watch list for this week here. Irene is ready to go. So let me go back to Tesla and wrap up there. So Tesla is good to go. If we can break above this, this is going to be, it's going to go. It's going to do wonders, right? Next one is Irene. So Irene is an AI stock, and it also has a crypto component. So if Irene can break out of this area, look at this. If Irene can find a way to break out of this area, this is going to go, right? So this is here. This investor in the shoulders, right? So this is ready to go. And we got our trade. Trade went to $50, took profits from it, and now holding around this, right? So I believe this is not done yet. It is to hold here. If you can hold this 100 SMA, then it can do great things, right? It can do great things and go. Okay. So we can see this go, and then we can get this to break out of here. Okay. So Irene is a good one. If it can break above this $50 mark, it's going to be off to the races, right? So Irene is a good one that I really like. And if it sets up, it's going to be beautiful. Okay. All right. So I have a number of small cap stocks that I'm watching with the IWM set for a breakout. I like these small caps. And again, one thing about small caps I don't like is that they are prone to collapses, right? It can go and then boom, it just sells off, right? So if you're trading small caps and you are going to swing trade it, you want to buy time. Buy enough time so that you don't have to worry about it, right? You buy enough time and allow it to play out. If you are looking for quick moves, you have to day trade them, because if you buy limited time on your small cap stock and it collapses, you are going to all your money is going to go away, right? So you want to be very careful with small cap stocks. So I like this play here. This is I like this one. EOSE is an energy stock. So this one here, if you go to the weekly time frame, you can see here how the weekly time frame take off the lines. So how the weekly time frame looks like. So this has been squeezing over here, broke out of $7 level. This one, we captured this trade in the swing trading service last year, got this breakout, and now this pulling back here. Now this is, what is it doing? We have this flat forming here, right? So this is a wedge pattern. That's what it's forming, okay? So here, this is ready to break out. And with this candle here, if this can trade above $15 next week, Monday, it's going is going to push, right? So don't be surprised to see this at $20 at some point, sometime soon, this week, next week, whatever is going to do well, right? Another one that I like as well is open, right? So open, if you look at it, so last year, those that traded with us, open is a stock that we also swing traded, and it worked out nicely. Open this, so this looks like a cup and handle kind of thing forming here. This needs to break out of this wedge pattern. If open can break above $8, this thing is going to do wonders. It can squeeze and go. And if you look at this, look at the monthly, this thing has been consolidating in a range of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's been consolidating for 4 months within the same range, right? If we can get that push, so here, I can even add this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? If you're able to break out of this trend, right? This monthly trend is over here. Can break out of here. This is going to do wonders and go, right? Let me go to a different board. So here, if this can break out of here, this is a monthly time frame. It takes a long time to work out, but this is a lovely move. So if this can break out of this downsloping trend line, then this can squeeze, right? So you see that every single time this has come here, it failed, right? So is this month going to be the month where this finally breaks out? We shall see. Go to the weekly, it's going to be a little bit different, but you get the point, right? So if you break above here, this is going to be gone. So I like open as a nice play for a move to the upside. Okay, open for a move to the upside. So these are some of the tickets that I'm watching here for this week, and yeah. So also let's look at a couple more that I have here. Kavana. I talked about a sell-off in Kavana, and then finally it sold off. And then what did it do? It has now recovered and bounced. So if you look at the weekly, this thing came here, made new all-time highs, and broke out. So you pull back and then you give this long candle here. So this stock, Kavana, has the ability to break out again this week. Okay, so we can draw it this way. You look at this. This is breaking out here from this downsloping trend line. So if we can hold here, hold this area, this is going to break out and then go. So Kavana still has room to push and break out of this, right? Break out of this and go. Okay. There's also Serve Robotics. So robotics this one was a beautiful trade on Thursday. So those in the day trading room, we captured this move. It was a fantastic trade, right? To the upside. So robotics, Serve is a stock that, it can pop and collapse sometimes. It has this funny way of trading, right? So what I'm going to look at is I'm going to look at this here to see what happens here. Let's see if you can break this. If you can break this, then this can go. So somewhere here, Serve needs to find a way to crack above this. Above $16, Serve can squeeze to 18, then the sky is the limit, right? So Serve is setting up well, even here on the weekly time frame. This looks to me like a inverse head and shoulders on the higher time frame. So if you can get this break, and also this can form a cup, right? A rounding bottom. So if you can break above this, this is going to be good. So robotics is one of the themes that I think is going to do well this year. And robotics industry, like Tesla is also has robotics, big into robotics. But apart from the Teslas of this world, Serve is the leader in that industry. Okay. All right. So last but not the least is a stock that this stock here is a crazy stock. It has that crazy moves. SanDisk, right? Absolutely incredible stock, man. This stock is just a monster. So here, this stock here is just ripped to the heavens last week, right? So Serve Robotics, not Serve, Sandisk is ready to break, right? So here you see this a flagpole. This was a bull flag, and what do? We got the break. So this is now at no man's land. I don't know where it's going from here, but let's see. This has room to push, and it can go higher from here. Let's check out the pivot points and see where this is going. Let's see pivot points. Let's see if you can give us some points. Okay. So what are the next targets? Next target here is going to be 410. And then from there, we'll dream higher, right? 410 is the next level. So this thing still has room to push, and it can continue doing great numbers, doing wonders. Okay. All right, guys. That's about it here. Let me know if you have any questions. And those of you that want to trade with us live as well in the day trading room, if you're a futures trader, if you're an options trader, this is your moment to level up this year, to sharpen your trading skills by trading with us. So I'm going to put the day trading link here. So here I trade with members every single day here, Monday to Friday. We start at 8:45 a.m. Eastern with the futures market, and then from there we do the game plan for the options traders, and we trade both options and futures, right? So if you're a futures trader and you are looking to pass prop firm challenges and get payouts, this is a service for you. If you want to be a consistently profitable day trader, this is the service for you. Okay. So let me know if you guys have any questions. I am done here for tonight. Let me know if you have any questions. Put your questions in the chat, and I'll be happy to respond to your questions. And don't forget to sign up for the Zero Risk to Riches Challenge, right? I posted the link there in the chat. I'm going to post it here, and most importantly, share it with your friends and family so that they can join. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions, guys, before I wrap up here. And we'll trade with the day trading members tomorrow morning. So okay, sounds good. Looks like there are no questions here. Thanks for tuning in. And again, if you've not signed up to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, hit the like button if you like what you heard today. You learned something today, hit the notification button, and also share this YouTube link with your friends and family so that it can help us to grow. Okay. So thank you very much for tuning in. Have a good night. Talk to you guys, those that we trade live and the swing trading service tomorrow morning. Have a great week. Trade safely and manage your risk accordingly. All the best. Have a good night. Bye-bye. Bye for now.